right, here we go with another video. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, so I want to discuss this earlier, but I had to step out and take care of some business before the game started, and unfortunately I was running a little bit late. Anyhow, so I thought I'd take this opportunity in between the intermission of the first period to tee this up. So I want to talk about the Canucks trending upwards. One thing I've noticed actually compared to some of the other teams in the NHL is that right now the Canucks seem to be trending upwards in terms of their development, game strength, hockey IQ, and that's right throughout the whole team. All the players, and I'm talking more so for the young core. Obviously, we have our veteran core as well, of the Beagles and the Sutter and the Pearson and Furman if he was in the lineup, and Edler and those kind of guys, Markstrom. My apologies for that. So we do have a good leadership core, and then the young core, obviously, we know of being led by our captain, Bo, with Virtanen and Besser and Pedersen and Hughes, with a nice supporting cast such as like Stetcher and those guys. Anyhow, so the Canucks have a pretty good core as far as their veteran core and their young core, and they're all gelling perfectly right now, I've noticed. I'm not sure if they had a meeting earlier on in the year before the season started about how to reserve energy and not use too much energy. And if you actually watch, I was watching Quinn Hughes play, and he's a perfect example of that. He's already a high energy player, but if he ever decided to use an extra 15 to 20% of his energy, it would be incredible. So when I realized that, I said, you know what, let's take a look at the rest of the team and see if they sort of play that way as well. And I think one person that displays that tremendously compared to his play last year is Pedersen. I think he's learned quickly how to play at his level without having to use too much energy. And when he does use that energy, it's I think it's times when we would be in trouble, which we haven't experienced too much of that this year. So because of that, I think the team overall has been able to harness their energy properly. They do a lot of travel. I think this is the third longest road trip of the year, so a lot of mileage is well added on for these guys. So on top of that, I think coach and the training staff, they're doing a very good job in terms of keeping the Canucks' health where it needs to be at a competitive level. Because I've noticed, I think other teams have actually dropped off. Take a very close look. I watch quite a bit of hockey when I have the opportunity. So if you look at the other teams compared to the Canucks, there has been a significant decline in their play. It's incredible. Let's see if it keeps up. So that's one thing I noticed I wanted to talk about. Another thing is this current road trip. Obviously, we're up currently in this first period, but so far it's 10 games on this road trip. Sorry, not 10 games, 5 games on this road trip. So 10 points available, right? So far, they've actually been able to pocket 4 points. And if they win today's game, that is 6 points, which is obviously, we know now that's over 500. And if they go on this road trip over 500, as far as I'm concerned, they're pretty much in the playoffs as long as they don't go on any substantial losing streak, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Definitely in the playoffs, from my enumerations. Anyhow, also what's been really impressive is the last 2 teams they played were actually cup contenders, and they actually beat them pretty convincingly. And you can expect the games to be tight because the other teams are good teams as well. So consider that we won those 2 games, pretty impressive. And especially on the road as well. Especially on the road, because our road record hadn't been so great, but in order to execute well in the playoffs and keep that spirit alive, you need to have a decent road record. So they're working on that, and it's nice to see, and they're working on that against contending teams. So it's really nice. So yesterday, finally just closed out so we can get back to the game. Yesterday, I said I bought some tickets for the lottery, so I'm maybe gloating a little bit, which is, I think it's okay to gloat once in a while. So I actually won $102. So I bet $40 and I won 102. Not a big bets. I'm not out there to be making, big bucks. I'm just doing it for fun and also to, you know, see if I have that edge in understanding the teams and the games that I'm watching. So, and I've only played 3 times this year, and I've actually won 2 out of the 3. So, I don't know. Maybe I should play a little bit more in the odds sets and sports action, but we'll see. But yeah, it was a good day yesterday. Anyhow, the second period is just about to start. I will see you guys at the end of the game with my thoughts, insights, and analysis. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the game this afternoon. We'll talk to you guys later. Ciao.